Shalom. I am Priest and Officer Gabar Math. We're ISUPK, Connecticut. ISUPK started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called Blacks and Negroes, so-called Hispanics and Latinos, so-called First Nationers, or Native American Indians, the truth of their history, which is in the Bible, that we are the 12 tribes of Israel, and that our oppressor, which is the common oppressor of the earth, all right, is the devil, which means deceiver, the Bible speaks of. Salakia. All right, we're going to get right into it. We just celebrated. Actually, no, we're not going to get. So, Salaki, let me put in the chat a couple of things. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. Let me get the attendance sheet up in the chat on both platforms. Just bear with me. Shalom, Labab and Yamyan. Remember that attendance is required to get credit for the ISUPK benefits of a name, including a name, Salakia, after 90 days. Remember to go on isupk.com for listen, if you want to learn something, man, you want to learn something and you want to help save your people and you're a man, go on isupk.com and learn our history. And there are tools on there, books, a list of books. Start reading up, man, and get in class. All right. Let me see. Almost done. For questions or counsel, dial 203-548-0040. Again, that's 203-548-0040. If you're in Connecticut. If you're not, again, isupk.com, isupk.com. All right, the attendance sheet is up in English and in Spanish on Facebook. Now let's handle the YouTube. Ipa Shayara, Yahweh Shalom.
Shalom.
Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment. Like, share, subscribe, comment, share that class, share our class. Baba Kasha. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barakathum to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alatah Ba'Shem Yahushai to the sisters. All right, here we go. All in there. Now, it is the history class. I left the title up. This is part 2 of that similar class, throwing away the garbage, which is Thanksgiving. All right, this is to continue that thought process for the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We got to trust in God and not trust in God's laws and not trust in our oppressor. Because let me tell you something: when our oppressor came to the Americas from Europe, he brought with him his spirit. And unfortunately, our people quickly took on his spirit, which was one of war, but not in a normal sense, not in the sense that we were used to. You know what I'm saying? In a sense that he wanted to take over everything. He wanted to own us. And that's what he ended up doing in the long run. Yapasha Ira, if you could give me Habakkuk 2 and 12. I'm going to start there. All right? Because the Americas, in its infancy, was built on blood, was built by war, and not through gentle treaty like we're taught through the fake American history, but by robbing, plunder, and deceit. We as a nation were deceiving ourselves as well, because our people turned their back on each other, man. We were already away from the laws. Some of us were following, but many of us were just concerned with the trinkets. And again, like I said before, the Europeans brought a spirit with them. That spirit of deceit, that spirit of wanting what another person has. You understand? And we began to war with each other more than we had done, more than we had before. You understand? You got that?
Okay.
Nice and loud.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 12.
We're in Habakkuk 2 and 12. Go ahead.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Read that again.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. Woe to the oppressor. You understand? What does woe mean?
Destruction, death and destruction out of one.
Death and destruction, destruction, terror, mayhem. Woe. Read it again.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. The oppressor came here and had all of the nations that had been warring already. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they haven't been warring, but the extent of the death was not nearly what it was after the oppressor came, because the oppressor wanted to wipe everybody out. But he's going to use one to wipe out another. Go ahead.
Establisheth a city by iniquity.
And establisheth a city, what?
By iniquity.
By iniquity, by sin. It's a sin to hate your brother, man. It's a sin to go and murder one another, according to our laws. You understand? Drop that and give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10. The water. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Read that again.
Never trust thine enemy.
Listen, don't tell this to the Christian church, man. The Christian church wants you to go find your enemy, right? Tap his knife to the side or his gun to the side and then hug him. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. crazy. The Christian church, man, does not follow the Bible. The Christian church follows after their own heart and mind, and our people suffer because of it. Read it again.
Never trust thine enemy.
Sometimes.
Never trust thine enemy.
Every once in a while.
Never trust thine enemy.
What's today? Monday? How about a Monday?
Never trust thine enemy.
Never. Don't even trust him on Sunday. The Bible says to never trust thine enemy, man. And our enemy now is our oppressor and over us like I don't know what, man. Again, because we've trusted in oppression. We've trusted in the ways of those who want to see us destroyed and dead. We've trusted in that. You understand? Read it one more time.
Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth.
For like as iron rusteth, and you better believe iron is going to rust.
So is his wickedness.
The oppressor's wickedness is going to show, just as that iron is going to rust. Better believe it. It's going to happen. When? That's in question, but it will happen. Go ahead.
Though he humble himself.
Though he humble himself. And he's going to come at you with his hand extended like, hey, what's going on, man? How you guys doing? Wow, there's a lot of you, man. I feel a little intimidated. No. I'm just kidding. But hey, I was wondering, he's going to come like that. He's going to come with business to do. Go ahead.
And go crouching.
He'll come humbly, right? He'll come humbly. He'll lower his voice. He'll make sure that you're comfortable. He'll crouch, he'll make sure that you see the top of his head when he talks, and he'll talk with his hand, gesticulate, and keep everything nice and small movements. No large movements, small movements. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Yet take good heed and beware of him.
The Lord says, yet take good heed and beware of him. Beware of that brother. Because let me tell you something. Our people in the spirit of our oppressor are our enemies spiritually. Physically, we're family. We are. But you have to be careful, man. The Lord says that he hates those who do iniquity. He hates a sinner. You have to assess your surroundings and who you are placing yourself amongst, because the Lord wants us to prefer one another, right? Right? The Lord wants that, but he doesn't want us to be in sin. So you have to avoid the sin. You have to. Like you should avoid that oppressor. That oppressor is full of sin, man. He you know what I'm saying? He opens his mouth, sin comes out. Sin is boiling out of his ears and out of his eyes. Again, it's just a matter of time before he shows it, man. He don't have your best interest in mind. He doesn't have the laws, statutes, and commandments to follow. Even if he seems like he's following them, it's a matter of time before it goes away. Go ahead.
And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
And you will know when that oppressor's rust is not altogether wiped away. He'll hide it from you, but it's still there. It's still there. And even if it's not still there, guess what will happen eventually? What will happen eventually, Ipashaira? If the oppressor wipes off the rust, figuratively speaking, if you can't see that they're evil, right? Just like you wipe away rust, what will eventually happen?
You'll see its true form.
No. What will eventually happen if you wipe all the rust off metal?
It becomes shiny again.
But what will happen eventually after that? Will it stay shiny?
It'll rust again.
It'll rust again. Exactly. The rust will come back. Very good. You understand? And that's something that our people seem to take for granted. Okay? Is there more on that?
If I go down to 12.
Read down there. Read down to 12.
Verse 12. Mm-hmm. Set him not by thee.
Do what?
Set him not by thee.
Again, this is the Bible, man. These are commandments. Don't set that rusty bastard next to you or by you, go ahead.
Lest when he hath overthrown thee.
Unless when he overthrows you,
he stand up in thy place.
He replaces you. Because that's what he really wants. He wants your land. He wants your heritage. You understand? This is what he wanted when he came to the Americas. This is what he wanted. He wanted to be free. He wasn't free where he was. You were the brave. You were the free. Home of the free. No, what is it? Home of the land of the free and home of the brave. Land of the free, you done took the home of the brave. You understand? Read.
Okay. He stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand.
Don't even let him sit next to you in your trusted place. You might say, okay, I'm gonna keep my I can't stand to say it. I'm gonna keep my friends close, but I'm gonna keep my enemies closer. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. That might not work out. Your enemy might learn every bit of how you move and really take your place. Go ahead.
And thou at the last remember my words.
And thou at the last remember my words. Lord is trying to help you out. He gave you the Bible. He gave you the laws. He gave you so many good things in your scriptures. You understand? Go ahead.
And be pricked therewith.
And be pricked therewith. Always keep it in your mind. When you get pricked, you're like, oh, shoot. I forgot about that. That thing's sitting right there. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
And that's what you'll be. You'll be a charmer who keeps that snake around right in the basket on your right-hand side. And when you choose to have the snake come out, you wanna flute him out, right? Who's gonna have pity for you when you put the snake right next to you? Nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. No one's gonna feel sorry for you. You understand? When you can't see that the oppressor hates you because you choose not to see it. The oppressor hates you. How do you know? Because you're the one getting shot on TV. You're the one getting stabbed by your own people in front of everybody. You don't see that happening to any other so-called races out here. You don't see the East Indians suffering like that. You don't see the Africans suffering like that. How come they can tell us apart? But we can't tell each other apart. We want to be African. Let me tell you something, man. When you go to Africa, they'll know who you are. You need to start knowing who you are. Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. Read on.
Okay. That is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh with wild beasts.
Or any such as come nigh, as come near, or anybody that brings a beast near to them. You're going to get what you deserve, man. You see, listen, you watch YouTube. You watch Facebook. And you know what you're going to see? You're going to see a lot of Arab men. And I don't know if it's Arab. Well, yeah, they're Elam and they're Ishmael, right? You're going to see a lot of them next to tigers, right? In their cars. They have a limo, right? And the tiger will be in the other seat across from them. What is going on? That wild man called. Oh man. The dude will have a damn lion or tiger in the car, feeling safe. I watched something today, and the dude was on the couch, and he was sitting there. The camera was towards him like it is towards me, and the tiger was on the same couch as him, and he told his boy to come give him that, and the tiger was staring at the dude like, you better not. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. This is not our way, man. These aren't our people. They're dangerous to themselves, even. You understand? And when we get their spirit upon us, we're dangerous to ourselves. We're not dangerous to them. When we're not in our right mind, so to speak, our proper person, you know what I'm saying? We are an endangerment only to ourselves primarily because we don't hunt after anybody else but ourselves, man. It's that Stockholm syndrome. You understand? And we've got to come out of that. Give me, Baba Shah, give me Proverbs 30 and 14.
Can. The book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives.
Read that again.
There is a generation.
There is a generation.
Whose teeth are as swords.
Whose teeth are as swords.
And their jaw teeth as knives.
And their jaw teeth, whose teeth are as swords, top teeth, and jaw teeth, like what?
As knives.
As knives. When they speak, it cuts. Go ahead.
To devour the poor from off the earth.
To devour the poor from off the earth. Go ahead.
And the needy from among men.
And the needy from among men. Our people suffer for a lack of knowledge, man. Our people suffer because we don't want to pick up the Bible. We can pick up all manners of books, watch all manner of television. We love 50 Cent and all that he's done. Let me tell you something, man. With that BMF, Black Mafia Family, Power, all of what 50 Cent is doing right now, you can't tell me that's not going to eventually add to our destruction. Because our people get into these things and without proper supervision of a male or a boy or even a girl nowadays, they end up emulating what they see on TV, man. So all this struggle back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen definitely. I'm not saying it's going to happen on a wide scale either, but it is going to happen. You're going to have some fall through the cracks, who didn't have to see all that. You know what I'm saying? And many times, again, a child will emulate what they see. And you think a lot of these parents are monitoring what their children are watching? Okay? There's a homosexual in every single sitcom, every single movie show, every movie. They always got to insert some evilness, some Babylonian custom and everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's in there too. You know what I mean? Because we have invited in the oppressor physically and more importantly and more urgently mentally, and we need to shake off that spirit. Read. Oh, Salakia, no. Salakia, let's get drop that. Give me Ecclesiastes 7 and 7.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression makes a wise man mad.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, man. And that's what the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man should be. They should be angry, man. They should be angry at the state of affairs of their people. They should be angry at the fact that we are suffering, many of us silently, right? And many of us are acting out because of suffrage as well. You understand? And we need to come back to our way of life, man. Our righteous way of life. We had a righteous way of life. Okay? It is Hanukkah, it's the Feast of Dedication. You know what I'm saying? We need to remember our high holy days and stop going in to what we shouldn't be celebrating, which is Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, your birthday, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Twin Day. I mean, they got a day for everything, man. Yeah, they got a day of ice cream day, a day to eat ice cream. They got a day to smoke weed. You got a day for everything, man. But you know what you need to do? You need to follow the days that the Lord has prescribed for our people to show obedience and to have a culture outside what is the norm of America, which is oppressor's spirit. You understand? Now, I'm going to read something today having to do with the Pequot War. Who are the Pequot? The Pequot are, I'm going to share a screen. Salakia, bear with me. This is Connecticut here. This is Connecticut, a piece of Connecticut touching Rhode Island. Okay? I'm here in Hartford. This is where I am. Salakia. I don't know if you guys can see this cursor. Let me see. I'm not sure of that. Well, in the middle, it says Pequot War to the upper left, 1636 to 37. Then below that, it says the Pequot tribe, and it has the Indian villages, non-Indian settlements, forts, battles, and Mason's route. Mason was one of the oppressors. Okay, to the right of that box, you have Windsor, Hartford, House of Good Hope, and Weathersfield, Connecticut, and arrows pointing downward. All right. Now, I'm in Hartford. Hartford is in the center of Connecticut. Okay. On the bottom, below Weathersfield, all the way down the bottom, you have the Quinnipiac River, you have the Housatonic River, and you have New Haven, which is at the mouth of the Quinnipiac River, leading to the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. So Hartford, many people have not heard of Hartford. Okay, many people have not, but Weathersfield in the making of America is very popular. There's a place called Old Weathersfield where they have battle enactments and so on and so forth. Now you have that river where the arrows are pointing down. That is called the Connecticut River. It was also called the Hog River and the Pig River at one time in history. Okay, now I'm going to read something having to do with the Indian villages, non-Indian settlements, which again, Windsor was one, Hartford was another, House of Good Hope was another, those black dots. Weathersfield was another. New Haven was another. These were all ports or places where they would take Indians and Negroes into slavery and have them work plantations or work the fields. All right. Salakia, bear with me. Salakia. Hmm. Salakia. This is my first time. So bear with me, please. While I. All right. The Pequot War. For more than a decade after the founding of Plymouth Colony in 1620, there was a peace between Indians and colonists in New England. The Wampanoag Sachem or Sachem Massasoit, that was the chief or the head, the Sachem. His name was Massasoit. Most powerful of the region's Indian leaders and loyal in his friendship to the colonists. Now, again, should he have been loyal? Did he have his spirit, or was he rocking with the oppressor's spirit? I think at this time, and like we read last week when we covered on Monday and on Wednesday the Wampanoag, um, the battle that took place with the Wampanoag. We learned that Metacomet or Metacom, his son, was the one to fall to the colonists after Massasoit was already dead. I'm going to pick it up again. Had more to do with the state of accord than any other individual. Again, a state of accord, a state of peace. Yet, as settlers increased in number and spread out all over more and more Indian lands, tension between Indians and non-Indians increased. The particular incidents precipitating the Pequot War involved two coastal traders, John Stone and John Oldham, and their deaths in 1634 and 1636, respectively, at the hands of Indians. Pequot may not have actually committed the murders since Niantic played a part. And again, Niantic and Pequot are the different names of so-called tribes that were already here in America, here in Connecticut, for that matter. Many people know about the town of Niantic, but don't realize that it's named after a tribe. Niantic played a part in the first, and Narragansett, which is another name of a tribe, in the second. A shaky peace was maintained for 2 years after Stone's death, but it could not survive a second similar occurrence. Soon after, word of Oldham's death came from another coastal trader, John Gallup, who had happened upon Oldham's hijacked boat off Block Island. Now, what is Block Island? Block Island is a place where the oppressor loves to go when they got money for vacation. You'll find Hillary Rodham Clinton, George Clinton. You'll find anyone who's somebody at one time or another takes place in going to Block Island. Oprah loves Block Island. Okay? You'll find many people in New England driving around with the island, the shape of the island on the back of their car with a black sticker, because it is somewhere that is elitist. Okay? It's very, very elitist. You need to have money to go there. And this is the history of Block Island we're going to read.
Do you mean Bill Clinton?
Right.
You said George Clinton.
Oh, Salakia. I meant to say Bill Clinton. Salakia. I said George Clinton. It's the water for that. Oh, my fault. Yeah. I'm sure he's been there too. Okay. But Block Island is somewhere that is very elitist. And look at the history of Block Island. All right. Let's pick it up at who had happened upon Oldham's hijacked boat off Block Island and had skirmished with the Indians abroad. Massachusetts Bay officials rashly ordered a punitive attack. Captain John Endicott and 90 men descended upon Block Island and killed every Indian male they could find, Narragansett, as it happened, and burned their villages. The force sailed to the Connecticut mainland, and against the advice of colonists in Fort Saybrook. Now, again, I'm going to tell you about Saybrook. Saybrook is where the Boy Scouts go in Connecticut and in New England. Saybrook is where it's called Old Saybrook now. It's where almost all elementary school field trips go in anywhere from 3rd grade to 5th grade, sometimes up to 7th grade to middle school. Everyone goes to Old Saybrook for their field trip. They learn how to read maps. They go into the woods and they learn how to build fires. and things like that. That's what they do. They learn to appreciate the land, so to speak, but they don't learn about this. Okay, I'm going to pick it up at the comma where the word against is. Against the advice of the colonists in Fort Saybrook, who feared a major war, sailed eastward along the coast in search of Pequot to demand reparations. Now, again, look what's happening. The colonists are going town to town because they want reparation on the death of two so-called white men, John Stone and John Oldham. They want their recompense, man. These two were rumored to have been killed. Again, rumored. They don't even know. They don't even know who actually did it. They're saying it could have been the Pequot. It could have been the Niantic. It could have been the Narragansett. They don't know who did it. But what they're gonna do is they're gonna go get all of them. You understand? They're gonna go get every one of them. Near the Pequot River, Endicott's force killed one Indian and burned several villages. Then they returned to Boston. As the colonists, Salakia, as the colonists at Fort Saybrook had predicted, the Pequot problem intensified. Of course, the Pequot don't want people killed and their villages burned and their men slaughtered. None of the Indians want that to happen, right? The Pequot problem intensified and became theirs. Although the Pequot sachem, Sasakas, failed to achieve an alliance with the Narragansett, largely due to the intervention of Roger Williams, the founder of Rhode Island. And again, Rhode Island was a very prominent slave port. He still went ahead with plans for war. His warriors laid siege on Fort Saybrook during the winter of 1636 to 37 and attacked outlying settlements wherever they could. The following spring, they attacked the settlement of Wethersfield on the Connecticut River and killed 9 settlers. The colonists around New England gathered their forces. Now again, I'm here in Hartford. Wethersfield is not even an 8-minute drive down the route of 91 south. Okay, all this happened here in the center towards the bottom of Connecticut. The Pequot, the Narragansett, the Niantic, all these Indians, the Mohegan, all right, the Mohawk, all that is here in New England. The colonists around New England gathered their forces. Captain John Mason, a professional soldier who had seen action in Europe, was the first in the field with an army of 80 men out of Hartford, along with a group of Mohegan allies. And again, we all know about Mohegan's son, don't we? All right. Who benefited from allying with the oppressor? During the trip south, the Mohegan battled a group of Pequot, killing 7 of them. At Fort Saybrook, Mason's force was joined by a group of men from Massachusetts Bay under Captain John Underhill. Rather than wait for additional reinforcements, the small army set out their boats eastward along the coast. Their original plan had been to attack the Indians from the mouth of the Pequot River, but Mason decided to circle around through Narragansett country and seek additional Indian support for a surprise attack on the 2 main Pequot villages. Again, look at the oppressor playing off the small differences between the same people who just happen to use different names for their families, man. Okay, we had to understand that our oppressor is a divide and conquer type of entity, man. And it's evil. It's evil. And what we did to each other was evil as well. All right? Salakia. starting at the troops detoured east by boat to Narragansett Bay, then back west overland. Both Narragansett under Miantinomo and Niantic under Ninigret joined them. Again, Miantinomo was the leader of the Narragansett, and the Niantic leader was called Ninigret. All right. The attack on the stockade, the attack on the stockaded Pequot village took place at dawn on May 25th, 1637. Mason divided his men and had them storm the stockades, two opposite gates. Although the colonial forces had the advantage of surprise, the Pequot repelled the first attack. But the turning point came when the colonists managed to set the village's wigwams on fire. Pequot who fled the raging flames were cut down, many by Narragansett and Mohegan, waiting in the surrounding countryside. What a shame. And those who stayed behind, many of them women and children, burned to death. Pequot casualties in this one battle have been estimated as more than 600. Now listen, that's one battle. One. There were hundreds of skirmishes and battles that our people fought on behalf of the colonists, man. Because that colonist is a slick bastard with his words, man. Because we trusted in him. Because we didn't know the oppression on its way, man. Possibly even as many as 1,000 of the colonists. 2 died in the attack, and about 20 were wounded. Mason's force withdrew to meet the boats in Pequot Harbor. They had to fight off a surprise attack by a Pequot war party of about 300 warriors that same night. Mason's men returned to the field soon afterward, as did other colonists, in search of the scattered Pequot survivors. Now listen to this. Mason's men returned to the field soon afterwards. They wanted their revenge, man. They don't want nobody to live. This is the oppressor. But we want to march. We always marching. They will seek vengeance. Now, I'm not telling us to seek vengeance. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Right? We don't seek our vengeance. But just know the bastard you're dealing with, man. And know that he cannot be trusted, even his generations thereafterwards, man, because he teaches his kids about this true history. Mason's men returned to the field soon afterward, as did other colonists, in search of the scattered Pequot survivors, including Sasakas. In July 1637, a colonial force trapped a large group of Pequot, hiding out in the swamp near New Haven. Sasakas and several other Indians managed to escape to Mohawk territory. That would be Mohawk territory would have been more towards Rhode Island, going a little bit going up into Vermont, sort of. All right, that area there. Only to be beheaded by members of that tribe, anxious to prove to the English that they had no part in the Pequot uprising. Many Pequot were sold into slavery in Bermuda. How many of our brothers in Bermuda know that they're actually Pequots from New England? How many know that? I don't think anybody knows that. I don't think many of them know that. Just like in Barbados, many of the people in Barbados are also Pequots. They were sold there too. Where they're also Mohegan. You understand? This oppressor loves to mix up, man. Loves to do that. And let me tell you something. The reset, when our people are in power again, and the kingdom of heaven is established and completed, because again, the ISUPK is working on it. You understand? Under Commanding General Yohana, is being implemented. All right? All these things will be corrected. Many Pequot were sold into slavery in Bermuda or divided up among the Mohegan, Narragansett, and Niantic in payment for their help. Use of the Pequot tribal name was forbidden, and Pequot place names were abolished. Only a small percentage of the once great Pequot nation survived to maintain tribal identity. And of course, we know from the Bible and from what we're learning here in the ISUPK under Command General Yohana, we know that Pequot nation was a byword as well. You understand? Our people had lost their way, and again, from the you know that also from the fact that the Narragansett, the Mohegan, the Niantic, all these the Mohawk, all these different tribes were warring with one another because we had gotten away from our laws, which say that we are brothers and sisters under one God. We were worshiping all manner of things: wind, water, grass, seeds. You know what I'm saying? And not worshiping the Creator, which caused division amongst our people as well. All right. Let's get Jeremiah 10 and 2. Let's get Jeremiah 10 and 2. Again, we went into that. Again, what are we showing? We're showing how the division of our people always benefits the oppressor. Always. And where did I get that from? Let me show you. Salakia. This book here. Atlas of the North American Indian. Awesome book. Shows a lot of the skirmishes. This book is in the listing, which is on isupk.com. All right, isupk.com. You'll find a study tool list, and this is in there. Atlas of the North American Indian by Carl Waldman. Excellent. You got that?
Okay.
Read.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Thus saith the Most High.
Thus saith who?
The Most High.
Gabarmoth.
The Most High.
Officer Karayala.
The Most High.
The Most High says this. Go ahead.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of your oppressor, that heathenous bastard. Go ahead.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
And don't even be dismayed when he looks up at that zodiac and he wants everything to be a certain way, so he's gonna map it out. Go ahead.
For the heathen are dismayed at the signs.
That's what they do. Go ahead.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Those are vain customs, the Bible says. Those things are empty. Go ahead.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Salakia. That's it. Salakia.
Okay.
Let's drop that and get Ecclesiastes 4 and 1.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Turn.
So I what?
I returned. And considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And behold the tears of such as
And behold the what?
The tears.
The tears of such. All that oppression should make you mad. It should make you sad too, man. We've been oppressed for hundreds and hundreds of years, man. And it's time for the oppression to stop. You got to want it, man. You can't keep saying, I'm going to change tomorrow. I'm going to do this the next day. I'm going to do this the next day. Get your ass in class, man. Work it out. You know what I'm saying? Work out your salvation. Go ahead.
And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter.
And they had no what?
Comforter.
But we have one now. We have Christ. You understand? We have the example he led, and we have the security of having a father again, which is Yahweh, man. Keep going.
And on the side of the oppressors, there was power.
And we got to stop seeking the power on the side of the oppressors, man, because that power is temporary. That power is there only because you hate your brother. You hate your sister. And sisters, you hate your brothers and your children. You understand? It's time to build families again, man. It's time to learn how. And how do you do that? You come in back into your culture. Drop that and give me Ezekiel 18 and 18. Ezekiel 18 and 18. It's time. It's time that you pick up your sword, Black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man, and come together as a people. Zephaniah 2 and 1. Gather together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the day pass as the chaff, before the Lord's anger come upon thee. Listen, grace is a period of time, and it is only a period of time. It is not forever. Okay, 2/3 of our people, we hope, will be saved, but the Bible says they will be destroyed. Now, the Lord at any time can do whatever he wants, but, and we'll pray for all our people to be saved, right? But the Lord will do what he wants, man. He wants righteousness. And that's not what we're giving one another, man. We are quick to hate each other. We're quick to scoff and to talk shit about each other. Excuse my French. We're quick to lie to one another. We're quick to pass judgment on each other instead of trying to be brotherly and having patience and perseverance. I'm not saying do it in a soft way. You know what I'm saying? But damn well do it. And don't make excuses not to. You understand? Don't make excuses not to be a brother. A lot of us make excuses not to be a brother. Well, he was doing this. Well, how about you freaking forgive him, man? How about you not be so stupid and so tawdry and so weak like he was being? How about you be better? Huh? We know about taking the high road, right? Everybody tells their kids, well, you should have took the high road, right? How about you take the high road? How about you do better? Huh? What did you do to add to that situation where it went that route? Why didn't you do something different? This could be a learning experience for both of you. And that's where wisdom comes in, man. That's why this Bible is heavy as hell, because the wisdom is full of wisdom, man. You know what I'm saying? Giving you biceps like I don't know what, man. Building that back up, you know what I'm saying? So that you're not so damn sensitive, and so that you can see, you can be wise enough to see why a brother is behaving, or why a sister is behaving the way they're behaving. And maybe you can be a counselor to them. Or maybe you can suggest a counselor to them in amongst your brothers in the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? Read.
As for his father, because he cruelly oppressed, spoiled his brother by violence, and did that which is not good among his people.
Because if you did that, if you went amongst your people and you did evil, your father is the devil, the Bible speaks of. You understand? And you're being led by fleshful things, by lustful things. Right? When your heart starts beating fast, man, withdraw yourself. Withdraw, you can't handle it. Withdraw yourself and come back when you're calm the hell down. You understand? Our Native American aka Israelite brothers that were here in the Americas, man, they learned a hard lesson about brotherhood. They learned it and they lost everything in the interim. You understand? They lost everything in the interim. And now they're alcoholics on reservations, wiped out, or walking around calling themselves Negroes because they don't know better, or Bermudans, or Bajans, or Jamaicans, because they don't know that they were brought there out of punishment and exile. Drop that and let's get last scripture, 20, stay in Ezekiel and give me 22 and 12.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 12.
Go ahead.
And thee have they taken gifts to shed blood.
Read that again.
And thee have they taken gifts to shed blood.
They took bribes. They took money and they wanted guns. You know what I'm saying? And they sold their brothers out and hunted them and beheaded them even. Just to prove something to damn oppressors, man. Can you believe that? And years later have nothing to show for it. Only a couple tribes have casinos, man. All the rest have been displaced and put on reservations on land, and a lot of them aren't even originally from that land. If you look up the history, they've been moved around because when they take their land from you, they want your resources too. Read.
Thou hast taken usury and increase.
Thou hast taken usury and increase. Go ahead.
And thou hast greedily gained of thy neighbors by extortion.
Ooh, read that again.
And thou hast
what? Greedily
gained of thy neighbors by
extortion. Read.
And has forgotten me.
And has forgotten the Most High. And has forgotten your God and your family and your customs and your high holy days and the fact that you're God's apple in his eye, man. You are the loved ones of the Most High. You've forgotten. But black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, guess what? ISUPK here is to remind you, is to steep you in all your lovely gold teeth, gold chains, and everything else glorious in our culture. You understand? And best of all, and most importantly, and put you on the proper side of your God so you can be blessed, man, and not cursed. Again, that's my time. I am Priest and Officer Gabar Mouth, ISUPK, Connecticut. We are ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yahana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called Negro, Black, Latino, Hispanic, First Nationer, and Native Indian, their true culture heritage, and that their oppressor, whom is the common oppressor, is the devil the Bible speaks of. Until next class, shalom.
Shalom.